Welcome all to episode 11 of season 3 of Fab Life with Lauren and Lee. And oh my God, we're joined in the studio by a guest.
Hello, guest.
Aren't you lucky?
Dan O'Neill. Welcome. Round of applause for Dan O'Neill. Thank you. If you're watching on the YouTube, you can see lovely Dan in his very fashionable denim jacket. But for the listeners, I'll just describe that. It's a very fashionable denim jacket.
Fashionable.
Very nice. All thrifted. Everything I'm wearing.
Is it?
Yeah,
oh,
go.
me and you both, babes. Apart from my undies. You've not got thrifted undies on, have you?
No, I don't.
Oh, thank
But they're
God.
borrowed. They're not mine. They're my boyfriend.
Oh, my God. He hasn't paid for a
Best
thing
thing
he's
about
wearing.
gay relationships. Double your wardrobe.
You can wear each other's clothes.
Well,
Yeah,
you've
so-
started very hateful towards me, both of you. Thank you so much. That's the end of the episode. How are you? So
really
good to
good.
have
Oh my
you
God.
here.
We wanted this to happen for a long time.
Yeah, we've been trying to get Dan on for a while now, and we're all very busy people. Oh my God, I nearly can't talk. I'm so flustered, Dan, in your presence. I thought, though, just to get it out there, that your name was Dan O'Wild, and I was obsessed with it being Dan O'Wild because that's your Instagram handle, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a good
Go follow
Instagram
him.
handle, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, thanks
Tell
for the
us.
plug, Dan O'Wild.
Hey,
Yeah,
go follow
the
him. How did you find the pod actually? Just because you are a Fab Lifer, aren't you?
Yeah. No, I think I first saw your stand-up, Lee. I
Oh.
thought it was really funny.
Oh my God,
Um,
stop it.
Film it.
His
And-
head's big enough.
And I think actually the Instagram, which you'll be very happy to hear,
Oh my
probably
God, that's
sent
so
you
good.
to me. It was like
Thrust.
you watched
Because
that
he
video
was
of
like,
Lee
yeah,
for more
yeah.
than 4 seconds. So
yeah. We don't have
But I met
attention.
you from there.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, I saw a blue tick follow me, and I was like, "Who's this Dan guy?" And then I saw you
She's so
followed the-
shallow, isn't she?
I
She
know,
sees
yeah.
a bit of blue.
So that's all it was.
I get so many new followers. You've got to really stand out for me to notice it.
Don't worry, I think everyone can get a blue tick now.
I know. I've just
Lee's
seen
got
that.
one.
Yeah, have you?
Excuse me. I got one. No, I got one properly, but now they're releasing it where you pay for them.
Yeah.
It's a subscription.
Scandal.
Everybody can purchase them.
That is
Disgusting,
the dulcet
isn't it?
sounds of Sang there. Sorry.
Sang is back. Fast becoming Fab Lifer's favourite producer, I will say. We get quite a few DMs about when Sang's on the pod. Welcome back, Sang. Hey, nice to have you.
Thank you.
But unfortunately, Sang is about Dan today.
You can come in. It
But
can be about you.
no. We love it when Sang gets involved. But what I was going to say is, Dan is, for those who don't know him, commiserations. But you're a documentary maker,
Yeah, filmmaker,
filmmaker,
teletalker.
Love to be out in the wild.
activist.
Yeah.
That's why I was going to say, let's explain why Dan O'Wild would have been a great name because you're all about nature.
Yeah.
You're wild by name, wild by nature.
Yeah.
Hey.
Whole life. Yeah, I was.
Your
before-
whole life?
Yeah, before I got into TV, I was a biologist. I studied zoology
Yet.
at university
Ow.
and then worked in mostly the Amazon for
What?
quite a few years.
That is the
I
rainforest,
feel like
not
you're
the
like
factory.
so much
Where-
older than your years.
Oh, it's great.
I feel like you've done a million things like
well,
already.
How
Yeah,
old are you?
I am 31.
Oh
But-
my!
Oh my God, you're younger than me.
Oh, you're making me feel really young.
Really?
Whereas a lot of people are like, Dan's my agent. Whatever age she wants me to be in the meeting, she'll say I'm that age.
So like 45.
Yes, it's
Dan's
like, oh, BBC Three. The audience is what's the audience? 6 to
Dan's
25.
perfect for it.
Yeah, he's 24.
you could be any age. Actually.
Yes, you are quite ambiguous in terms of age.
Hopefully more than like 15 though.
Yes, yeah.
And under
100%.
40.
Yeah, under 40. 100%.
Sorry, are you?
No, I'm 34.
Oh,
Thank God. Do you know what?
You
My
had to check.
Botox is wearing off, Dan. That's what it is. That's all it is. You know what I mean? It keeps me young.
So were you always interested in? I mean, it's a bit of a stupid question to ask.
Tell us about Little Dan.
Nature.
Like, were you out
Tell us
there,
about Little
Oh,
Dan.
I was a proper
finding
weird
worms
kid.
and stuff?
Proper
Yeah.
weird kid, yeah.
Give us examples.
Give us
Tell
really
us.
detailed examples.
Tell us ones that the Daily Mail Online might be.
Yeah. Okay. So my dad is a bit old. He was a physicist and
Yeah.
computery guy. And he was quite a lot older than all of my parents.
Shout out to the old dads.
Yes.
Oh.
Remember? I've got an old dad. How
Oh,
old's your
really?
dad now? Is he
In
still
his
with us?
mid-70s.
Oh my God, my dad's even older, 80.
Oh, really?
Shout out to the old dads. We
Yeah.
love that shout out.
But yeah, he wasn't like kicking footballs around and doing
Sure.
outdoorsy things with me. So it was always science and like maths books. And I used to try and impress him by by like completing little kids' maths books and
Oh,
stuff.
Oh my God,
love
you cute. That's really sweet.
And we started looking after animals together because I've never been particularly good at physics or maths comparatively.
It's very maths, isn't it? Yeah,
and
it's too
like
much.
a bit boring.
And you've
But
got it or you've not.
animals, really, really interesting. And
Great.
everywhere, and you can actually see them. That's part of science I like. That's why I like biology so much, because you can see it,
Yeah.
you can feel it, it's there, it's real.
Love it.
And him and I started looking after animals together. So we started with like marine fish, and we like tropical fish, marine fish. Then we got geckos.
So not like a cat, you
no.
know, or a rabbit.
No,
it was like
we had
straight in
12
there with
cats.
marine fish.
I
We
was
had 12
thinking,
cats.
12 cats.
Yeah, no.
12?
Yeah, the most we had at one stage was 12 cats.
Oh,
Crazy
Yeah, yeah.
cat.
God, did you
man.
We
name
were a
them
mad
after
cat
the
family.
disciples?
Yeah. No, honestly, we had so many cats at one stage. We just started calling them grey cat, black cat. They just, doll face, just random names that popped.
I
up.
love it.
So, which were your parents together, or
Yeah, still are.
so was your mum into this as well, or was she just kind of like, oh, look at
She
them,
in the other room.
look at them
like,
with the cats again?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. No, Mum loves cats. I think that's why we had so many of them.
Oh, okay.
She was like, I'm not with the fish or the geckos, but I could deal with the
Yeah,
cat.
she absolutely loves it.
She got the cats to get rid of the fish.
Kill all the other animals. Well, the weirdest animal we ended up looking after a hawk together, and I
I thought you were going to say a
trained
horse.
Yeah, I was like, that's not that weird.
A hawk.
Yeah.
A hawk.
Yeah, I trained a hawk.
So where was this?
In the countryside in Oxford, like outside in the woods. We
Imagine like
went to the
terrace
woods.
house in the East End. Like,
No, like a little place in the middle of the woods. Yeah,
oh my God, cool.
yeah, they love it. They're still there, same place.
Are
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
The hawk. Tell us about the hawk. Did you
So-
get scratched to pieces?
I did actually. I've got like quite a nasty scar on my arm from when it.
Cool.
Yeah,
Manly.
You should see the other guy. It's
I
a
was
hawk.
not cool. They called me Hawk Boy at school. No, actually,
Oh
do you
my
know what?
God.
They called me Hawk Boy and Raven Boy because they
Well-
knew that it wasn't a raven and that would upset me.
They knew. Oh my God,
Hawk
kids
boy.
are
Yeah,
evil.
they're evil.
Yeah.
But,
I was going to say hawk boy. Well, now you know how your cats felt. Like great cat, like very literal insult.
absolutely, yeah, but it's one of those things. Like back then, I was such a weird kid. People like took the piss out of me all the time. I was also a gay kid with a hawk, so it was like,
yeah, when did you
know,
come
it's
out?
double whammy.
Did you come out at school as well as having a hawk?
No, I
That's a lot, isn't it?
I didn't come out till quite a lot later. Like I talk about this in like articles and stuff sometimes. That like for me, I dreamed of being an explorer. Like I wanted to be like Humboldt or Schomburg and be one of those people like hacking through the jungle. And like when I started to realize that I was a bit different from everybody else and was like, I think I might be gay. Years before telling anyone, there just aren't any people like me or what I wanted to be.
Yeah.
Doing anything like that. So it kind of was really, it was one of those moments where I was like, I'm going to hide this as long as I can.
Because I'm really different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's so interesting.
Mm.
Have you met any other people from like the LGBT world now within your world?
Oh, yeah. Like when I
is
when
it
I first
changed
started,
a lot?
yeah, I think so. When I first started talking about it, people messaged me from all over the world being like, woo, another gay.
I bet, yeah, like join us in the jungle.
Yeah.
I bet you'd wish you'd done it sooner because you're
Yeah,
a bit
yeah,
of a
of course.
pioneer for it now.
And also like I think it's we think of those things at first like that make us like different as things to hide and things to be embarrassed of and things that won't get us further. But actually, I think that those turn out to be the reasons why we get further. And actually, you're way less authentic if you're not being yourself anyway in it.
In it, bruv. Oh my
God.
God, I love
I could
that.
listen to you all day, Dan. So you let's go past the hawk. You know, so that was secondary school, right?
Or
was
I
it?
was like 14.
Yeah.
When I started.
Yeah, because
So-
the kids have got to know hawks and ravens. You know, they've got to be a
Yeah.
bit older.
I can't
for that.
believe they're so cruel, aren't they? They knew Raven would upset him more,
Yeah.
so they called
They went
him
for it.
Fucking arseholes. Who are these people? I want to find them.
Oh no! Well, I'm friends with most.
I
of
bet
those
they
people
all.
now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, in an okay
Well, yeah.
way.
Like, I think people when we're like kids, like children are evil. Like they're
yeah,
worse.
and you don't know what you're doing, do you?
No.
Like, so mean.
But no, loads of them. I met one of them, one of the real wankers.
Oh, God.
He's now gay.
No, yes.
Yes, I knew it.
Came up to me in the Plush Lounge gay bar in Oxford and was like, "Hi."
The plush lounge.
Yeah.
That's all we needed.
Yeah, you didn't need to explain that was a gay bar.
And he goes, "Hi, yeah, just thought I'd say sorry."
Oh,
And I was
okay.
like, "That's quite cool." Yeah.
That's good. That's like something out of an American sitcom because I feel like people actually don't get that oh my God, what's the word? Like the comeuppance almost. They don't
Redemption.
get redemption. They don't. You never get that in real life.
Closure.
You just get people. The closure. The realism is they try and add you on Facebook when you're a big deal. Do you know what I mean? They're like, hey, do you remember me from school? It's like, yeah, you're a twat. I'm not adding you. You know? That's what really happens. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
You like.
So you then went to college. So did you study biology?
Yes. I wasn't like that good at school, to be honest.
Too busy, with
Yeah,
the hawk.
just being like really cool with my bird.
Yeah, too busy like patching up them scars, you know.
But then no, I worked hard, and then I left school when I was 16 because I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. Did a bunch of like directing, like courses. There was a charity film school like near where I lived.
Oh, so you got involved in the film quite early,
Yeah.
the filming side of it.
Because it's funny, I didn't know like which one I wanted to go for, and it's
Yeah.
hilarious. I've now ended up merging them both together.
You jammy
But,
bugger.
yeah. Went back to uni, studied zoology, and then
What
Yeah.
uni did you go?
Sheffield.
Oh my God, the North. How was
Yeah,
the North?
Loved the North.
Was it great?
Yeah, I highly recommend the North.
Really? Is it known for its zoology course in Sheffield?
Yeah, no, they're great. All of those unis up north are better, right? In my opinion, anyway.
Yeah.
Drinks are cheaper,
You have a better student experience.
better student
probably.
experience. People are nicer. I remember when we first came up. This is going to sound really bad. I remember when we first
Please.
came up. Me and my mum came to look at Sheffield University, and we went into Starbucks. To get a coffee before walking around
Yeah.
the campus. And the lady serving us the coffee behind was so nice. She was like, "Hi, how are you?" Ah! And me and mum were like, "Do we know her? Why is she being so
You're like,
nice to us?"
Don't speak. This is a trick.
yeah.
This is a trick.
Because people in Oxford wouldn't stand up for a pregnant lady
Yeah.
on the bus.
Yeah, no, totally. And I forget when I go up north, like when people wave to me and I'm like, oh, he must know my mum. But they're literally just waving because you're walking past them. You know what I mean?
When I went back home during the pandemic, back up north, I passed someone once who was on the phone, and I was walking past them, and as I walked past, they got their phone to put it to the chest and went morning, and then carried on their conversation. And I was like, "You've just stopped a phone call to say morning to a stranger." I did think that was too much. I was like, but that's how nice people are.
They've been brought up well.
They really
Brought up very
have.
polite.
So you studied. So you did also want to do documentary, like you were interested in film from an early age as well.
Oh yeah, massively. And at uni, I did film. There was a TV society, and I did like the most embarrassing presenting gigs I've ever.
Oh, I did
God,
that.
you've got to
Yeah.
dig
Did
out
you?
them. That
Yeah, we did a
footage.
presenting module, and we corpsed the whole way through it.
So embarrassing.
It was.
It's probably one of the most cringy things to do, like presenting in front of like your peers. Because when you're acting, you're being someone else. So you turn it on and you're like, I'm going to be someone else for however long. But when you're presenting, it's you being like a slightly cheesier version of yourself and like more enunciated. So you're like, hey, and then your friends are just watching you. That's like,
Well, and I
embarrassing.
struggle with sincerity. So I could do all the light-hearted stuff, but then when we were doing like, such and such has done this and it's sad, well, I was just bursting into fits of laughter. I just thought it was the funniest thing. 'Cause I'm like pretending.
Oh, people thought you were being sarcastic.
Well, yeah, no, so totally. It was bad.
Where were you at uni?
Salford.
Oh.
Yeah.
They have a
Salford.
wildlife course now.
Do they?
Directing wildlife documentary course.
Are you a doctor? You're going to get a doctorate.
I'm actually in the process right now of applying for my PhD.
Oh my God, what in?
I want to study the Amazon and camera trap for cats. My biggest obsession is big cats. I like.
It started out with grey cat.
12
I
cats.
was gonna. I wanted to say what's your favourite animal. So it's
Cats. Yeah,
Big
I've
cats.
studied jaguars for a long time. They're the thing in the Amazon I'm most obsessed with. Jaguars, pumas. There's 6 species of cat in the Amazon. And snow leopards. I do a lot of work with the Snow Leopard Trust.
yeah. You did a big kind of documentary
series.
trying to find them
Yeah.
because they're natural. You found them.
Yeah, we filmed them in the wild. It was amazing actually.
They're very shy, aren't they?
Yeah, so they're about
Like me.
3 Exactly, you're just like a snow leopard.
Thank
He's
you.
just blending in there. You can
Yeah.
barely see him.
No, they there's like 3,000 to 5,000 of them in the whole world, and they live across 12 Central Asian
Are they endangered?
countries. They're actually vulnerable. They were
Okay.
endangered, and they were downgraded to vulnerable.
Again, like me.
They're
Little Lily.
but yeah, no, and so it's very hard to find them.
And so, what was it like when you saw your first snow leopard? What was it?
Amazing.
Did you cry?
Nearly. It was.
Do you get emotional? Because I think I would just be emotional, like, because I love animals and stuff, and I'll always cry when I like see a cute animal, even. So I'd be in bits if it meant, like so much to me.
For me, it's like, because a lot of the project, what I'm really obsessed with and what I like get the most out of is kind of going on a mission for something that's really difficult to find, and then working with like local people who can help you get to it, and then getting that moment and seeing it in the wild, because that was the like explorer mission that I always dreamed of as a kid. So that snow leopard one is kind of the pinnacle of wildlife filmmaking. So few people ever get the chance to film them in their truly wild habitat. And the way that we saw it, I mean, me and my mate Chris just like set this thing up, and we were like, we're going to go find a snow leopard.
I was going to say, how do you even get that started,
Yeah.
like off the ground?
Did you
That's
get funding and stuff?
It was the BBC. They championed me. There's a guy called Gavin Boyland who was the head of development at the time at the BBC, and
He wasn't the one that bullied you, was he?
and
would've been real
he's
full
the one who
circle.
came up to me in the car.
It loves the plush lounge.
I'm sorry, Gavin. But no, he championed me loads, and he basically pulled some strings and made it happen that I could go and do that expedition. And then we saw it, so he was like,
Thank God.
Yeah, because that would be embarrassing for him.
Yeah, actually, I guess there's two things. Like, one, you seeing it, but also then being like, oh, we've done what we
We've
came to
nailed
do.
it. There is a lot of pressure on you. I hadn't thought about that, because what if you don't get the footage?
And that's really what we thought would happen. And we were checking this camera trap in this little ravine. And it's just so magic how it happened, because this little camera trap was there. It had been set by some people at Kyoto University. And it was a video one, so we were really desperate to see if there was something on it.
Yeah.
So we had a little look, and we were sort of like checking it. Unfortunately, we were faffing around there for a good sort of hour, and the camera trap wasn't working. The batteries had ended. There was no footage on it. And we were like, no, and then looked up, and one was literally watching us from the ravine above.
God.
And had we not faffed around there,
Your
in
life's
this
like a
ravine,
film.
it wouldn't have come.
And what did you do? Do you go like, don't move, look, there's a snow like, or do you?
No, we were like, fuck.
And did it run away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. It just was like, what the fuck is that?
Well, it'd come and sussed you out, hadn't it?
Well, I guess for it was like, they're not going to, I rule the roost here.
Yeah.
This is my home.
Yeah, and it's like, so whatever they are, like, I could eat.
Do you not get scared?
Not as much as I probably should sometimes. Snow leopards probably wouldn't attack you.
Are they like
They might attack you.
I'm not coming.
Me?
Yeah.
Do they not like women? Are they sexist?
No.
Misogynist.
Yeah,
Again,
no, actually
snow
famous.
leopard. Don't like women.
Yeah.
Shorter, so they could probably kill you too, actually.
Would it? What? Because I'm small.
How tall are you, Dan?
6 foot.
Are you?
Oh my God, everyone always thinks I've got such a short personality. Like, no, they do. So you're like, oh, what? 6 foot? No, I'm next
You
to
don't seem 6
It's 'cause I've
foot.
got a short personality.
He's got a shot. It's like people have ginger personalities, don't they? You know, when like people look ginger.
Shout out to all the gingers.
No, but my poor friend Joe in sixth form, I remember, like, he wasn't ginger, but he had like the complexion of a ginger person. And then he got bullied for being ginger, but he like wasn't ginger.
Was he like,
You know what I mean? Like,
oh my God, so he was being gaslighted.
yeah, basically. He was like, but then he's like really successful in musical theatre, and he's always like the small young ginger character.
Oh, well, there you go.
So he's played on it.
Exactly.
Fair play to him.
Right. So we would be killed by the snow leopard. So I'm glad we
Right.
got that out of the way.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask, what's the Amazon like?
It's the best.
Like, how do you
Where do
get
you
there? Like,
sleep?
what do you do? Yeah.
Hammocks.
Yeah. In hammocks.
Yeah.
Are you bit to death?
Well, that's the thing. So, well, you can be. It's so dependent on who you are. So some people will get absolutely ravaged, and the mosquito bites will turn sometimes into boils, really nasty. But some people get basically nothing at all. And I did the first time I went, but then after that, they don't really affect me anymore. Like I don't
Oh, that's
really, they don't
interesting.
show up so much on my skin, and if they do, they disappear after about 5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
But I don't find the Amazon particularly scary. When I first
Right.
it's oftentimes when you see the Amazon, it's with some like big butch like army guy who's
with a big
conquering it and
machete,
being
like whatever.
I'm conquering the Amazon and I'm going to survive. But actually, it's not like that at all. And I've learned everything I know from Indigenous people who
Yeah.
are like, chill out, it's fine. Like we live here.
We've made a path
Yeah,
even, so you can walk down.
It's like nothing wants to hurt you.
Yeah.
And actually, like I find it incredibly peaceful. Like being in the Amazon is
Yeah.
really, it's so nice.
I'm like that because I sometimes put sounds of the Amazon on Spotify. So
So there
we've
you
kind of
go.
both
You'd
been in a
be
way,
used to
haven't we? But like, how do you get there? So talk us through. You go into the Amazon, like there's no like where'd you fly to?
Well, I've been going to a
Yeah.
country called Guyana in the north of South America.
Yeah.
It's pointless on pointless, I think. It's pointless answer.
It is a pointless answer. Yeah,
so
well
I don't
done.
think lots of people know it.
No.
But it's about
They
the
do
size of
now.
the UK.
Yeah.
There you go, rep for Guyana. It really, people should go to Guyana though.
Is it beautiful?
It's an absolutely stunning country. It is the last country in South America where it's illegal to be gay. But
And you're flying in like
yeah, I'm like, hi,
Walking Dead Butch when you get
Yeah.
there, like,
white mate.
right,
Got your
got a scar.
Got your stamp from the plush lounge still on your wrist. Sorry, guys.
But they had a pride there, peaceful pride, and like it's just an old
fair.
like law, colonial law that's remained. So
Also,
like,
when you go into
gays.
Guyana for the Amazon, you're not really going to be engaging in much gay sexual activity, are you?
unlikely.
Unlikely.
Yeah.
That's one of them snow leopards gets frisky.
Imagine going on Grindr in the Amazon. Oh.
Someone's just popped
Hey,
up.
you never, there's a thriving LGBT Indigenous community actually.
Is there?
Yeah, and there's a woman called Melanie McTurk who is living.
Is that
in
a drag
the
queen?
jungle.
That name is
It's great,
fantastic, isn't it?
Melanie McTurk, and she's like she sorts out all the gays. She's like she tries to make a little community so people will have somewhere to go in
Oh
Guyana.
my god,
Indigenous
what a
community.
woman!
So when you get to Guyana, what then? Like, do you just drive to? I can't. I don't know.
Can't
It's-
like fathom how you get there.
Oh yeah, in answer to your question that I just completely avoided. Yeah,
I do that all the time.
yeah, there's no direct flights to Guyana from here. I think they're starting one soon from Amsterdam, but you fly into either Barbados, Panama, or Trinidad and Tobago,
Nice.
and then you hop over. It's expensive to get there, and it's
Yeah.
actually quite an expensive country to be in because there's no infrastructure. It's 85% pristine tropical rainforest, so the only way to get in is there's one road completely unpaved. It's just dirt in the middle of the rainforest. And that's how you get in, and it goes from the coast where the capital city Georgetown is all the way to Lethem, the border town in Brazil, and that's the only real way to get in there, other than a little bush plane.
Oh my god, that's
And
bonkers.
yeah, it's absolutely amazing. And then when you get into the interior, there's like more animals than you could possibly imagine.
Are they just like everywhere? Just
Absolutely
like,
everywhere, like spider monkeys running through the trees, howler monkeys going ooh in the early morning. These incredible birds. There's this bird, my favourite.
I love birds.
Species. Well, you'll love Guyana because
Yeah.
there are 800 plus species of bird, and there's one called the screaming peaha. To me, it's the sound of the jungle, and when I hear it, it makes me feel like most at home. It's kind of like I'm going to try and do it. It's like
One.
like that.
Can't whistle for shit.
I'll give
that
you a
was
clip
great.
of it so you can play it.
Oh,
Because I recorded it in the
yes.
jungle, so you can have access.
Straight.
because that would be a good like iPhone like alert, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Word.
It's
Is it like 10 times?
I could be
It's so
I could be
loud.
the screaming Peart.
And that's what I thought he was going to say. I thought he was going to say. That's your grinder handle, isn't it?
Not since I was suspended.
Were you actually suspended from Grindr?
Yeah.
Please
Why?
explain that story.
Just for impersonation.
What? Of
Fame,
yourself?
fame is a prison.
Oh.
Once you get that blue tick, honestly.
Yeah, so go on. So you're in the. So do you like? I can't fathom it. Like you
What's
get
your
to
pack?
the
Have
Amazon.
you just got your
yeah, what's your
backpack?
pack? What you got with
I
you?
like to pack as light as possible.
Yeah.
Because like you end up just like you're in your grime anyway. So like
Yeah,
you're really
yeah.
good for
Who
down.
cares?
And have you always liked that? Like
Look-
being a bit like grungy and a bit kind of dirty.
Well,
Not dirty, but as in like
love it.
Should I leave you to
like
alone?
like camping and
Yeah, I love that. I love camping, love being outside, love being in nature, seeing animals.
yeah.
And for me,
Because I didn't know whether going to the Amazon would have then made you just go, oh, but yeah, this is what it's about,
Yeah,
rather
yeah.
than
oh, yeah,
because maybe I'll go to the Amazon and be like, I'm into dirt now. I'm into
Yeah.
not dirt, but I'm into like
Imagine all your tropical
Outdoors.
shirts. You'd just be camouflaged.
I know, I'd love
The
it.
toucans and the parrots.
Oh, and I love
And
toucans
you
and
make all the same
parrots.
sounds as well.
And I also loved pelicans.
Mm.
I've told you about the time that we set up a band in primary school.
we can
What
call
told
the pelican. No.
Yeah, and my logo was that we called it Sad Fire, but I had grommets and it was meant to be Sapphire, but I thought they'd said Sad Fire, so I made these
Maybe
business
not.
cards. I made these business cards, and I decided to give everyone a logo, and I was like, "What's your favorite animal?" And mine was a pelican at the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
quite a
sweet.
niche favourite animal.
That is
Yeah,
quite
well,
neat.
we didn't all hang around with hawks. Some people had pelicans. I was a bit more obviously flamboyant in that sense. So you go in there, and then what do you like? Do you know where you're going, or do you just scope out a place to pitch your tent?
Well, it totally depends. I mean, it's there's no paths really in a lot of the places that we go to, but the rivers are the roads. So you'll use the river.
You follow the river,
Yeah,
don't you?
you go up the river, and that's the best way to see animals because especially in the dry season, January to March time,
They're having a drink.
Well, yeah, there's no water in the forest, so they have to come to the river to drink and to like stay cool. So you see animals like tapirs. Have you ever heard of a tapir? It's
I thought
like
it was like, oh no, I'm thinking of tapeworm.
Is it
No,
What's
no,
a tapir?
Tapir?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a weird, it's called a bush cow. They like a mix
cute.
between a cow, a horse, a pig.
For the purpose of the listeners, I just beckoned. Talking of bush cows, how have you been, Lauren?
Hey, I'll have you know I've had laser hair removal. Thank you.
But basically that, exactly that. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And you see them they're like a weird piggy, horsey, elephanty cow thing.
Oh, now I can see the resemblance.
Yeah. You guys really, there's no line, is there? We'll find it.
We'll find that line, babes, one day.
So you love big cats.
Yeah.
But what would you say was the animal you relate to the most?
Relate to.
Ooh.
Hard-hitting
That's
questions on Fab Life with
interesting.
Lauren and Lee.
It's actually like quite a tough one.
Is it? If you were going to be an animal, you can't choose big
I
cat.
don't know, because I feel like I'd want to say something like a snow leopard, like a cool, edgy, like bit of a loner.
Can
but
barely
just,
find them.
Yeah, a lie. I'm more like a parrot or a toucan.
Yeah,
Probably.
parrot.
Yeah.
We had a pet parrot growing up.
Oh, really?
Yes.
African grey. He's died.
He's died?
Yeah. So sad. He was like in his 50s or something.
I didn't know he
I
did.
think he had a stroke at Christmas, yeah.
Oh.
And he was chatting. He had a Scouse accent because my dad's a Scouser. Yeah. And they got him from Saudi Arabia back when you could do that and just go to a bazaar and buy a parrot.
Yeah.
And my dad brought it home for my mum as a present. Not in a cage or anything. It was just in the back of the car when he
Oh.
on the airport. Mad. Yeah, so that was part of our life, like our whole family life.
What's the name?
Bobby. 'Cause
Bobby.
he looked like a policeman in Saudi and all grey.
Right.
But my mum also liked Bobby Ball.
Well, there you go.
Oh.
There you
Okay.
go. Bit of a
Cool to
double-
grow up with a parrot, though.
Yeah, it was cool. And like you'd forget that this parrot was because they never stopped making noise. Like this parrot was in the house. Or like if you rang me and I was at home, they'd be like, "Is that Bobby in the background?" Because he just didn't stop making like the noise of like a door or.
Did the bullies
alarm or-
call you Budgie Girl?
African Grey Lauren.
All right.
Yeah. Sorry, it's triggering.
Yeah, they used Budgie because they knew it annoyed me because it was actually a parrot.
Shut up.
Shut up, man.
So do you have tents there, or is it just like
Hammocks.
Hammer.
hammer?
The best way
Do you
to
ever
be.
just get a mozzie? Do you not even have a mozzie like
so
nest over?
there's these-
Nest. Net.
So they have them come in. There's an amazing brand called Hennessy Hammocks. Send me free hammocks.
Oh my
and
God,
they-
you heard it first.
Send us them too. I mean, I'm not going to the
For where
Amazon
we
anytime
go.
soon.
But they're amazing, and you can the best thing, there's in the jungle. There's a lot of different sorts of elevation in the ground, and there's roots coming out, and there's obviously things on the ground that are like a bit scary, like snakes and spiders and stuff.
Snakes.
So you want to be
yeah.
off the ground, and the best way to do it is to pitch your tent between two trees, your hammock, sorry, between two trees. Just tie it on two trees, slings down the middle, and it has a mosquito net impregnated into it.
Nice.
So
Oh, yeah, well clever.
and
So
then
you're
you
just in the
zip it
net.
up and you're in this little cocoon, and nothing can get to you. And it's the best part of the day when you're
So no
feeling a bit
spiders can
gross,
get to you.
Nothing can get inside,
Oh,
and you
'cause I
get in
hate
your little
spiders.
cocoon, and then you just hear all the jungle around you, and you've got this little.
Oh, I'd love that.
That is
Having a little nap.
insane.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Oh,
That is insane. Oh my God. What is your like most dangerous experience? Have you ever been
Yeah.
like faced with real danger when you've been on
Yeah,
one of these
mostly with
trips?
people. Animals typically.
Oh,
Less
really?
So. Yeah, a couple. Well, I've had one animal one that was really, actually quite. It was my fault, but it was quite
Tell
dangerous.
us.
I was about 300 miles
I
into
was
the
going to say, I was about 3. I was like, Christ, he started young.
One of the cats was annoyed.
Yeah. No, my mum was like, "Yeah, get closer to the snake." No, I was washing washing up, so doing the knives and forks. We just had our
Yeah.
dinner. Between our two, we had these two metal boats that were getting us further up into this far Amazon area, and I was in between two of them, washing up. With my torch, like facing down, not really looking, and Josie, one of the indigenous guides that we were with, was like, down, get back. And I looked up, and there was a probably 14+ foot black caiman edging closer and closer and closer to me, which 100% like if I
14 foot, did you say?
yeah, like a very large, big crocodilian. Yeah.
14 foot. That I can't even fathom seeing something.
Mm.
What?
Quite freaky.
How would you not heard it? Are they like
They're very quiet.
stealth?
Crocodilians, we talk about this, so I've just...
Crocodilians. What a great word.
Because obviously they're not crocodiles.
No.
There's alligators, crocodilians, gharials.
Wait, what's the difference? What's a crocodilian then?
So crocodilians are the group of animals
Oh,
that alligators,
the umbrella
gharials,
term.
crocodiles all fit into.
Yeah.
But they've evolved for hundreds of millions of
Well, they're
years,
like
barely
dinosaurs.
changing.
Yeah.
If you look back through evolutionary history at one of the earliest forms of crocodiles, Sarcosuchus imperata, it looks almost identical to the crocodiles living today because they have a strategy called minimal exposure, where this giant, great big reptilian demon thing is underwater, but only the only parts of it that are visible to an animal on the bank are the tops of its eyes and the end of its nose. And it has these sensors all along its body and especially in its head that sense movement. So they know when anything is by the side of the water. They're incredibly well adapted for hunting by ambush.
So why change? Yeah.
And there's no reason for them to change. And as you can see how many crocodiles there are around the world, crocodilian species, how successful they've been in Australia. They were nearly hunted to extinction in Australia in the 70s, and now they're way back up.
They're
again.
just back.
Yeah, any body of water could have a saltwater crocodile in it, and they do kill people.
So, and she basically saved your life.
So how did you get out of that hairy situation?
I moved away from the bank.
Did you just back up?
Yeah,
floor?
and I think Josie actually is a guy. He threw something. He was like, ah!
to like distract her.
Yeah, get away, get.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
God.
But there, I would say in the jungle, the most sort of the freakiest things are big black caiman, snakes, and
Yeah.
that's probably it.
What are you afraid of any animals?
Snakes and spiders. Not so much snakes. I don't like. They freak me out a little bit. Danger noodles. And spiders. I'm
I
just
hate spiders.
freaked out by them. I think they're so cool. I think they're amazing.
They're weird though, aren't
But
they?
they don't want to
freak you.
touch it.
No.
And everyone's like, but you're a biologist. Like,
That's such a relief to hear you say that when you're like, you associate you with not having any fear and loving every animal out there. But
yeah, spiders just like,
freak me out.
well, do you know what? Right. I think we've all evolved properly. And I think it's the people who get real close up and like, woo, that's the flaw. Because we've evolved to look at that body form and be
That's
like, that's
dangerous.
not a great idea.
Yeah.
All spiders are venomous. All spiders. Every single one.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
I heard once that dragonflies? Not dragonflies. Daddy longlegs have this poisonous venom, but they can't bite anyone. Is that a myth?
Yeah.
Is it? That's one of them you hear at school, isn't it? Like, did you know that they've got venom in them, but they just can't bite you? And you're like, what? And then you get really freaked out.
I don't think they do have.
Do they only live 24
I'm
hours?
sorry.
As well?
I'm just.
Depends on the species because there's flies and then spiders, and people say the daddy long leg spidery one, and then the daddy long legs the fly. Obviously they're very different. And actually, the daddy long leg spider.
Yeah.
You see? It's not a spider. It's actually a harvestman. It's a different species.
Oh,
I'm.
God,
Do
see?
you know what I've just loved? The interaction of black caiman, and they have sensors in their mouth, and any form of movement. Lauren, did Daddy Longlegs have teeth?
I've got to ask these questions while he's here.
You've got, we're covering it all on the podcast.
He's got all the knowledge. You really do know about everything.
Well, yeah, no, he's not fake.
But you wouldn't think you'd be studying up on a daddy longleg when you can know all about caimans and big cats.
I know it, but it's passion. I love passion.
Love that passion.
So you nearly got killed by a black caiman.
Yes.
What did you do after that? Were you like, was
Just
it
freaked out a
adrenaline?
bit. Yeah, just adrenaline. I was like, oh my.
Did you like get back in your mozzie net and think I'm safe?
No, I think weirdly,
Mate, no one can bite through this, apparently.
I don't know if anytime you're like in a scary situation and you get away from it, or like it might not be an animal, it could be anything.
You have to be like,
and it sort of hit me a bit later.
Yeah.
That's when it was. At first, I was like, "Ooh, that was freaky!" Like laughed.
Yeah.
At the guy. I was like, "That was scary, wasn't it?" And then, like when I like an hour later, I was like, "Oh."
well, I suppose it reminds you of your own
you can
existence.
like laugh as well. I have to laugh, and afterwards because it's like, woo! The adrenaline's just start, and I'll just start laughing, and it's really awkward. I have a weird reaction.
I've got another one though, not quite as
Please.
dangerous. But
Oh,
it's
but
like
please.
a bit
I'm on the edge of my seat. I feel a bit scared listening to these
No, it's quite
stories.
embarrassing, this one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, great.
So when you're in the jungle, and we're on that, like we've got these tiny teams. It's usually just me and like a camera operator and like my friends who I worked with for years, who are mostly from indigenous communities in the interior. And when you go on these expeditions, there is a sort of routine of what you do. There's no toilets, obviously, but you have to make somewhere comfortable to go, especially
Where a
if you need to go
snake's
in
not
at
going to
night.
bite your bum.
Exactly, yeah.
You know.
And we'll typically, anytime we set up a camp, right, we'll rake all the leaves away to make sure that any snakes and things that were in that area are no longer there, but also that the ground is visible, because it's actually it's the camouflage that they've evolved in that leaf litter that makes them dangerous. And if you can see the ground underneath, you know that there's something that's much easier. So we do that when we first get to a camp, and we'll rake the ground. We'll put like a tarpaulin down so we can see everything. Everything else would go under it or away from it. They don't want to be near us. And then we'll make little trails. So one of our trails will be to our toilet. And the toilet is one of the first things you dig. And you
Everyone's
dig a big
desperate
hole.
after that long journey, aren't they?
Exactly. You want someone to sit down and be like, I eaten something weird. You dig this hole. It's about 4 feet deep, 3 feet wide. And then you'll get 2 sticks with a V, and then put a stick across them, and that's your little seat. It's really nice and comfy. Yeah. And then you put like a little.
So you're not sat too near the ground. That's great.
No, it's perfect. And you've got a little barrier up. Is a problem though. And when I got out of my hammock in the night one time, I did everything right. I like got my boots and I shook them out in case anything had gone in them, and I was like, I've got them on, everything's perfect. And now I'm going to go on my little adventure. Got my head torch, got my clothes on, zipped up my hammock, like I'm doing well. And I walked down the little area to get to the toilet. And I was like, cool, everything's good. And I sat down, and I realized pretty quickly that I'd sat on the trail of an army ant colony. And these very, very, very aggressive, like soldier army ants enveloped me, and
What do you mean?
just went right up in there.
No, they did not.
So you literally had ants in your pants?
Like no, they did. like it was part of the nest.
Yeah, and they were not happy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How did you get out of that?
I just screamed. It was a very embarrassing day for me.
I mean,
but
how did you get them off you?
And out
of you.
as you imagine. And out of yeah. But I just did that exactly how you'd imagine.
Yeah. And you still feel like they were on you like 2 days later.
Well, they bite. That's the thing. They bite.
Yeah.
It hurts. And when they clamp down, they don't let go. So you've got to pull them out.
You've got to pull them out. Who pulled them out? You.
I did pull them out. Yeah, I wasn't letting anyone else do it.
No. Oh, did you have was it sore for a couple of days?
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, it hurts a lot, but it goes quite fast.
Yeah.
Gee.
Was this before or after you nearly lost your life to a black caiman? Did it put it in perspective?
No, that was a different trip. That was before. That was earlier on.
Yeah.
So let's talk about giants.
Yes.
I know you think you are one standing at 6 foot, but but you've got a new show coming out
today.
Today. Oh my
God.
Yeah, it's out today. I know.
Fantastic.
You're like, yes.
But
exclusive.
the sad news is it's only out currely in the US, right?
Yes,
but
it's
you're
out in Europe later. So
okay, great. So we can get excited about it.
Yeah, so it's we know we've got an official we've got a date for I think it's in mid to late June. It's coming out in Austria.
Cool.
And then they're in chats at the moment as to where it will come in the UK. But it's exciting. It's basically 5 expeditions around the world to find the biggest animals that have ever lived.
Where did you when did you film this? Last year?
Last summer, yeah.
Amazing.
So the biggest animals alive today, lions, crocodiles, great white sharks, African elephants, and anacondas.
My anaconda don't.
Yeah, and it's and then alongside them, so we circumnavigated the world on these crazy expeditions, absolutely amazing. And alongside them, we bring back their extinct ancestors with like the latest CGI, so we can. So scientists have helped us reform what these animals would have looked like.
That's very cool.
And we kind of bring them back and learn from what happened to those animals as to how they went extinct, how we can save the ones we have today. So it's quite.
Oh wow!
Have you read the? I'm guessing you've read the book *Sapiens*.
*Sapiens*.
Yeah, because I remember reading in that where it was basically like I think 9 times out of 10, every animal that's been extinct is generally has been in the past because of human intervention. Is that right?
In our very short period of time.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've existed. I mean,
so you're going back like way.
Millions of years.
Oh my God, so
To
interesting.
put humans into perspective, in our recorded geological history that we can see through the fossil record, there have been 5 mass extinctions, 5 mass extinction events where either an asteroid, the most famous one, or a big climatic change has happened. We're now in the 6th, right? And it's called the Anthropocene because it's the only one.
It was called COVID.
yeah, and that was it. Killed everything. But it's the first one caused by one species alone, humans. So it's the first time.
We should be ashamed.
Hundreds of millions of years of life existing on this planet that one species is capable of causing an extinction level event that is comparable to the 5 mass extinctions of the past.
Yeah.
But what's really interesting as well, and I think worth saying, is that it's also the first time in history that we're capable of stopping it. So we're the only species capable of ending an extinction event. So,
and what's the extinction of?
A species.
Of which? What specific ones?
No one's safe.
Down the Amazon rainforest at a level at which we're very close to what's called the tipping point, where it will no longer be able to survive and sustain itself because it's a watering system, and it will start to desertify and turn into a desert. And we're very, very close to that, and we're already actually over that point in several parts of the Amazon rainforest, which is pretty awful. But it's not just there. I mean, you see in Borneo, like slash and burn, palm oil plantations, the ocean, acidification of the oceans,
coral reefs.
Yeah. And lots of things that we do on land obviously massively affect the ocean. So lithium mining, for example, runoff, and that kills reefs. So we do lots of things, but there's amazing things happening around the world where people are fixing all of that too.
Oh, amazing. Do you kind of touch on that in Giants?
We talk
Do you ever meet
about
any of those people on your travels?
Yeah, well, we talk about the people who are like saving habitat for elephants. Well, the elephants episode was epic. I'd never seen.
I would love to see an elephant.
They're always like the most watched episode. You know, on a David Attenborough, everyone's always like, "Did you see the elephant episode?"
They're amazing.
Yeah.
I'd never seen a wild African elephant.
They seem really friendly as well.
The little ones are so cute.
And they can be. They can also be quite scary.
Can they?
And they can run faster than you think, right?
Oh my God, really? Yeah, there's no running away from that.
No.
I watched an elephant the other day on like Instagram itch its nose. Or itch its face with its trunk.
Oh.
Well, they're really smart.
They're dead clever, yeah.
Well, that's not that smart. Even I can do it.
And also, they can communicate. This is a bit cleverer than you.
Yeah.
They
Dan, kick him.
can communicate in this thing called infrasound, which is under 20 decibels, right? So that's completely impossible for us to...
Yeah, I mean, I am very loud when I speak.
Yeah, you'll never get there.
So grumbly, so low. We would never be able to even... It would register it. But they can...
It's probably like when I go home.
Hundreds of miles.
Yeah.
Across this. Yeah. Oh my God, well, except for you.
Me and my mum talking down there. Elephants can understand us.
But that's pretty cool. And they can communicate that, and they like, hold their body in this certain way. And they've only recently really started to understand that they're using it in this way. And then they do this weird grumbly sound. And it's how they communicate across massive distances. Really
wow.
Oh my God, you really just know everything. It's so great.
And so that's out in the US. So there's a European launch. When is that? Do we know, or is it still in?
I know when it's coming out in Austria in June. We don't know exactly where it's coming out in the UK.
June.
But
hopefully not far
know.
after that. Yeah,
but
please
it's out
do.
in all stateside now.
So,
sorry, you're like, how many of your viewers are from the US?
We do
actually have a lot of, and a couple in Canada. Is it available in Canada?
I think so.
Amazing. What streaming services are available? There's so many in America, isn't there?
Curiosity Stream.
Curiosity,
Which is like Docs, and they've got like partnerships with other places, so it often things go to
it might pop up on Disney Plus because they've got like all the National Geographic stuff, haven't they?
I mean, that would be a dream.
That would be such a dream.
I want to very quickly ask you, it's so annoying we're running out of time, but I want to ask you about Imogen Heap.
Oh yeah,
because I love Imogen
I'm
Heap.
hanging out with her next week.
Oh
yeah,
God, I don't know what I'm more jealous of, the elephants or Imogen.
She is. You know what? She was my idol when I was younger. She's the first album I ever bought.
The song "Where Are We?" Hide and Seek.
Yeah.
Oh, I was obsessed with it.
It's amazing. She's so talented.
How do you know her?
I was obsessed with her music.
Right.
It's a first music I kind of engaged with when I was a kid, and actually another kid who I sort of bonded with at school who was gay, he introduced me to Imogen, and so that was quite a lot of like, it was an important time of my life to come across someone so quirky and different and interesting in music. And I was obsessed. I bought all of her music, absolutely loved it. And then when Twitter first sort of happened in 2008, I was like, I'm going to get it. And the first person I followed was Imogen Heap.
Did she follow you back?
And she followed
Follow
me back
for follow.
because no one knew what Twitter was. So
Oh,
they was like,
yeah.
oh, I'll follow them back. And I waited
yeah.
patiently. Because I was like, if I message her now, she'll be like, who's this child?
Oh, he played the long game.
Yeah. So I was
Played
like,
the long
I
game.
never, how, like, that is, I'm not that forward thinking now. I don't know how I was back then. I've
a lot of time on your hands.
Chill now.
Yeah.
But I waited, and then I came up with this idea, which I'm still really excited to do, and I really want to do it, to take Imogen to the rainforest, so that in situ, her and I can help her get to locations where she can start to make music from nature in critically endangered habitats.
That would sound incredible.
Because you did
Yeah.
a collaboration with Audible, didn't you?
Yeah. So I basically, this idea, I was like, Imogen, I want to do this and I'd love to do it with you. And she immediately got back to me, introduced you to her whole team. And I was like, oh, bloody hell, this is actually going quite well. I'm abroad. And
Imposter syndrome sets in. Yeah.
and she was so cool. She gave me a call and we talked about it. And then Lily Stanley and my agent Joe, Joe Starsby, they collaborated with Audible and they were talking to them and they realised that there was this amazing project, really hush-hush, presented by Kate Blanchett and her longtime friend and climate activist, Danny Kennedy, climate scientist. And it was just magic timing. They were like, we would love you to
it's all about the timing,
collaborate
isn't it, as well?
on
Fantastic.
the music. And Imogen made, obviously, the music. I'm not a musician, but behind each of the songs, each of the tracks, there's a hidden biological message, and it's loads of animal sounds that I had collected on adventures all over the world. We turned those into the music. So, and it is so. I mean, what she did, I'd get so excited because Imogen loves to work in the middle of the night. So I would get I'd get like a ping on my phone at like 4 a.m. and she'd be like, I've done another track.
Is the squeaky, is it what? Is the screaming, what is it?
Peart.
Peart in
It
there.
does feature. Yep.
The screaming Peart.
And you can hear it because Kate Blanchett does a forward about our collaboration, and she.
You'll have to send us all these links so we can share
please
them.
do. Well, we
on
released.
Instagram.
It's so exciting. Like we released all of the music in a double album called Chordata Bites 1 and 2, which is it's chordates, but it's all about biology. It's very nerdy.
Yeah.
But we love the name. And that's now available on Spotify, Amazon, all music places, and you can listen to that music uninterrupted, or from listening to Climate of Change, the podcast, where you can hear Kate and.
Amazing. Well, we can link that on Insta and in the YouTube.
Yes,
comments.
yeah, in the YouTube.
In the
we will
YouTube. I like to put a
do
V
so.
on the front of YouTube.
The YouTube.
The YouTube.
So what's next for you, Dan?
I have some really exciting things coming, and in a few weeks, I'm actually leading a study in Honduras. So I'm.
Is
going
that your
back to
next
science.
official trip booked
Yes,
in?
yeah, I'm off for 6 weeks into a very important, very critically endangered forest in the north of Honduras, connecting the wider jaguar population and lots of other species to Guatemala and Mexico.
Amazing.
And my job on that is I'm mist netting, so I'm catching birds. So I'm setting nets all through the forests, and I have some research assistants helping, and we'll be setting these nets to catch tropical forest birds and to do a number of different measurements and ring them. But I'll be putting up loads of content about each of the birds that
Yay,
I'm capturing. So
that'd
we'll
be
see
fun.
what that
I'm
might-
really.
and it's my first official collaboration with Sony, working with them as a creator. So they've given me all of this amazing camera equipment to make films while I'm out there,
Amazing.
which will be super cool.
Do you ever, go on like a beach holiday?
I hate it.
Yeah, I was going to say,
actually-
do you
Do you
ever?
not just nip
how
to
do you-
Mexico after for some like tequila and
I hate it.
Do you? So do you like? How do you like wind down, or is that in a way?
For me, work.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
winding
Well,
down.
that's what they say. You don't. It's not work if you just love it.
I just love it. Yeah, no, like I'm weirdly like this Honduras trip. I'm so excited because when I get out on these trips, nothing matters except the day-to-day routine of that work.
yeah.
So I'll be filming, doing this thing, but all of these other things like what meetings am I having and what like
Don't
do I
matter.
want to happen isn't there in my mind.
yeah.
And as freelancers, especially like comedians, like freelance work, I'm sure you feel the same way that like sometimes it's fucking exhausting.
Yeah.
Like thinking about how
Yeah.
to make things happen. So when you've got something happening,
It's just the
You just have
That's
to
where
think
you can
about doing
switch
it
off.
and enjoying it. Yeah,
and
totally.
TV is so low at the moment, like especially in natural history. There's like not so many commissions going on. So being able to go out on an expedition and just make my own stuff and do some science, I'm like, bring it to me.
Yeah,
And I bet
so-
everyone asks this, but David Attenborough.
Yeah.
Surely is he one of your heroes? Is he your hero? Who is your hero?
I think it's one of those things. Like David Attenborough is an absolute legend. He's a wonderful person. Everybody who's ever met him.
Have you met him?
I know. I've watched him at a talk, and as he walked past to leave, I was like,
So got some wisdom from him.
You sounded like the screaming Peart.
Yeah.
But no, he's obviously a massive idol of mine. But there are so many, like all of those people, like people in books, storybook characters that I wanted to be like. There was this series of books called Wolf Brother about a kid. It's written by this author called Michelle Paver, and in it there's this indigenous kid, and he gets lost from his community and makes friends with a wolf and realizes he can talk to it. And it's people like that kid that inspired me so much, even though he wasn't real. He was made up by a woman. It was like wanting to be like that kid. And it was those formative experiences of reading books like that, and my dad telling me about explorers that like create.
And I suppose is it all the people that you meet and all the people that work with you as well, like those. You see it there.
And local people, when you go to a country like Guyana,
I'd love that. I'd just absolutely love to meet.
And you realise how amazing these people are. Like in Kyrgyzstan, the rangers who work out there with the Snow Leopard Trust, no one gives them much airtime on these shows, really, when you go out there. But they're
living it.
Horse catchers, because the horses we ride out into the mountains on are semi-wild. They have to catch them. They can fix a generator. They can set camera traps for the Snow Leopard Trust. They
just
can
on
fix
it,
anything.
yeah.
They're super intelligent. They can spot them from a mile off. Amazing people that like, and that's where you realise you're so nothing without
You're just the face.
What is the one thing that you would say you've learned, or what's the one message from doing these trips and everything that you'd want to say?
I would say it's probably about the fact that, like, I think we, especially here in the UK, we're the 18th most nature depleted country in the world. So when you think about how little nature we have, and the nature that we do have, you can walk from one side of it to the other and you're probably not going to get lost. Yeah. Like, we have such a disconnection to the rest of the world, and what we've done to our country, we're like, why are people chopping down rainforests and stuff when actually we've just done that already to our country? I think it's decisions that we make in the countries like ours, and especially in the global north, as people call it, like that we have more of an onus to make those decisions. So I think even little things which people think don't make a difference, we should be doing them anyway.
Okay. Yeah. That's a really good message. Yeah. Oh, damn.
And even if you don't want to become a vegetarian, which is a really good option, just eat meat one less.
I often will choose like a plant-based burger over which I quite like.
That's the same. Are you a veggie?
I'm flexi.
Oh, are you flexi?
Yeah, no. So like when we're out with like local people and their food, I'm never going to turn down something.
Of course, yeah.
And then here in the UK, I'll eat whatever has been served to me. Obviously, I try to eat more consciously, so I don't typically buy. I never buy beef or lamb, which are the two worst things for the environment. But sometimes I eat chicken. I think it's important to not be militant, to not judge people who are trying, and to realise that actually a lot of people doing something imperfectly is a lot better than a few people.
Exactly.
And there's a massive renaissance really of food like that, because before it used to be just a bit bland, and that's how I think a lot of veganism or vegan choices got a bit of a bad rap. But there's so many gorgeous dishes now that is so tasty. It's easy to switch,
especially in Bristol. When you're there, it's just like, it's the vegan capital.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the lefty capital of the UK now.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh. Well, Lee, we're totally running out of time.
We are.
Should we do our pop quiz at the end? Have we got even?
Yes. Yeah.
We even have it up.
We're all
That's
good. We always end. Thanks for coming on this podcast, Dan.
I love it.
It's so interesting.
No, thanks.
You'll have to come back like when you've done your next big expedition, and tell us all about it. But we always finish on some quick fire questions with our guests.
I'm just trying to find it. Oh, I found it.
All right.
Are you ready?
Take it away, Lauren.
Okay. Night in or night out?
Night out.
Cocktail or fizz?
Fizz.
It's great. Classy bird. Film or theatre?
Film.
Pepsi or Coke?
Coke.
Lights on or lights off?
Lights on.
Yeah, baby. City break or pool holiday?
Well, neither for you, is it?
City break.
City break.
Yeah. More adventure there. Yeah. Beyonce or Adele?
Beyonce.
Dress up or comfies?
Dress up.
Yeah. Dance or sing?
Sing.
Top or bottom?
Which can be interpreted in
I
Right,
played the bit.
top or bottom? Yeah. How can I to think of that in a
top of the hammock.
yeah.
Top of the hammock. Yeah.
On top of the world?
Yeah, great.
Oh.
Perfect. Coffee or tea?
Coffee. 100%.
Sweet or savoury?
Savoury.
Morning person or night owl?
Morning person.
Straight up or on the rocks?
On the rocks.
Hey, that's our quick fire quiz.
Yeah.
Dan O'Neill, it's been an absolute bloody pleasure listening to you. And it's Dan O'Wild on Instagram.
Yeah.
Go and check. You do amazing little reels and videos of
We'll
all
be tagging the hell out of you
bits you've
anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So, you can find
so go and follow
our
him.
Instagram.
Check out, if you're in the US, check out Giants on Curiosity Stream. And look out if you're in Europe for...
Austria.
Yeah. And
On
fingers
service.
crossed for UK broadcasters
Yeah.
soon.
And series 2, hopefully.
Yay!
In chats already.
Well, if it's as
fantastic.
interesting as this chat was, I'm sure it will be picked up for another season. And look at us, we've been picked up for 3 seasons already.
I know. Look.
Even though that was our choice.
The producers just love us.
No, thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
I love the podcast. It's great. So
Oh.
very happy to be on it.
That's why we keep getting like weird countries listening, like just once. It's because Dan's out on an expedition, isn't
There
he?
you go.
Pop it, he's downloaded him.
I'll be listening from Honduras.
Oh my God, we'll look out for that on the stats.
All right, this has been episode 11 of Fab Life
With Lauren and Lee.
and Dan.
And